sometimes in my practice, I like to take out old ideas that I have learned and re-examine them, or take out old problems that they challenged us with in school and look at them from a Buddhist perspective. So I don't know why, but this morning, the idea the ends justify the means, you know, or the question, do the ends justify the means, popped into my mind. And I was thinking about that because, it was a real puzzling thing when I was younger. Because it seemed like, okay, if you're doing something good, you may have to do something manipulative or not so good to get to something good. Yeah, but on the other hand, if you do that, you may hurt some people or do damage on your way. And then this morning I was thinking that seeing the means and the end as two different things, it is incorrect. Yeah, the means and the end are not two different things. Because if the means is the cause, what the cause is going to bring a certain kind of result. So of course, cause and result are different, but a cause brings a concordant result. A result comes from a concordant cause, not from a discordant cause. So concordant cause is a cause that has the potential that creates that effect. Okay, so if you look at it that way, if you look at the ends, and you want a good effect, are you going to get a good effect by behaving in a rotten way to get there? No, because if you behave in a rotten way, you may get what you want, you may get something that looks good, but it's a rotten, non-virtuous person who's gotten that, and so what good does it really do? Okay, you getting what I'm saying? Yeah, and so, to really look at that when we're acting, because we'll say things, okay, I just lie a little bit, I just take a little bit of that from somebody else, I just, uh, trample on some people or kill a few bugs or whatever it is, and then that leads to a good outcome. Okay, so I think in those situations, we really have to examine if we really think this outcome is very, very good, then we have to be also willing to accept the results of the causes we create getting that outcome. Yeah, to get that outcome. Because these causes won't just bring that result that we want, they're going to bring a lot of other results too. And we can't ignore those results and say, well, just because, um, I'm Robin Hood, what is it? He robbed from the rich to give to the poor. Just because I'm doing that, then robbing is okay and it's karma free. Yeah. Or, there's really tough ones about mosquitoes, who that carry malaria or other kind of diseases. And you say, okay, well, it's hurting human beings, so it's fine to kill all these mosquitoes that are doing it. Okay, you may save sentient, human beings, but then we've still got to accept the result of killing the mosquitoes. Okay, we may accomplish some, build some wonderful charity project, but if we lied along the way and manipulated people, we're also going to get the results of that. Okay, and so to really look at things and be willing to accept all the results of the different actions that we do, and just instead of just saying, well, the ends justify the means. Yeah. On the other hand, it doesn't mean that you just completely, throw up your hands and say, oh, well, I want to do that, but it involves creating so much negativity. So, but then I'm just going to, then there's no choice but to stay in this horrible situation to avoid creating more negativity, okay? Or, yeah, things, even if you're doing something for the welfare of other people, well, it's too damaging, and so I'll just sit there and, let people suffer because, the ends don't justify the means. Yeah. So, um, but to really try and think creatively in those situations. Yeah, because I find that so often our mind, we see things in very black and white. If I want to accomplish that aim, then I have to do this, this, and this, and those are the only things that can possibly bring that aim. Fulfill that aim. Instead of really thinking creatively about other ways that you can approach things. Yeah. And so, just to relate that, like we're, building the Buddha hall. Well, there's certain things we want to do. But if we do that, then, other things aren't going to work properly. So do we just throw up our hands and say, well, we can't dig the kind of septic system we want in the place where we want it, so we're not going to build a Buddha hall, Or do we start to think creatively and think of what other kind of septic systems are there, and where else can they be put, and, think of all kinds of other things to bring into the equation to try and come up with other causes that will bring about the result that we want. Okay, so in our lives too, when we're acting and doing different things, to try and think with a really big mind about how to say things to other people instead of saying, well, I could either lie or I just tell them to their face they're an idiot. There's more choices than that, okay? And so let's think of, what are good ways to explain things to people so that they can understand what we're talking about. Yeah. And so in many things like that, not having a small, narrow mind. Yeah. But also holding our ethical conduct as something that is really precious and really valuable. Because, you see that sometimes, that people want to skip over the part about ethical conduct and go on to the high practices. It's like, stop telling me not to lie and sleep around. I want to meditate on emptiness because in emptiness there's no good and there's no bad, and I can sleep with whoever I want with, especially if I go on to practice Tantra. It's like, huh? What, where did you learn that? Yeah, please show me the scripture that says that. Yeah, but we hear little bits here and little bits there and then make up things out of misunderstanding. Yeah, so whatever we practice, no matter whether we're practicing fundamental vehicle or the Mahayana, or we're doing Tantra practice, doesn't matter. All of them are based on ethical conduct. And each one has its own set of precepts, that do not contradict the other ones. Okay, so do the ends justify the means? Think about it and make up some examples in your life.